It's the Betfred Super League Grand Final, 6 o'clock on Saturday night. We're going to take you behind the scenes, try and get a feel what the players are thinking and what we'll be going through ahead of the big dance. Carl Amor won the trophy on 4 occasions. Carl, you arrive here about 4:15.
Yeah.
What are you thinking as a player?
Oh, well, first of all, you notice the number of fans that are here, Mark, and then you hear the noise of the horns, and it's all exciting. Usually come out and there's some flares going off or whatever, and it really does feel like you're entering into the amphitheatre of rugby league. So there's so much excitement going through, but then for me, once you got through there, it was time just to switch off, forget everything and prepare like a normal game.
Well, let's go into the tunnel. So now we're in the famous tunnel here at Old Trafford. We've got Matt Peet and of course Willie Peters. Right, when you walk into the tunnel, what are you thinking? Can you take it in at all? Can you feel the history? Or is it just business head on?
Yeah, I think it's just business head on, Mark. It's when you're both lining up and you're waiting, and you can't look. If you head down there, you can't actually see any of the crowd. And then when you walk through that, you're hit with an almighty noise. And that part for me, if there's one part, Mark, I could go back and replicate in my career, it would be this final moment. Where you know that you're going to go and put on a show, and you've got a chance to be 80 minutes away from lifting this and being crowned a champion that no one can ever take away from you. But it's that moment in this tunnel, such a famous tunnel as well, isn't it, mine? That you can't help but feel that you're part of potentially something pretty special.
Let me show you a couple of things. First of all, Wigan are the away team, so that is the Wigan dressing room. Hull KR finished league leaders, so they are home. So what me and Carl are going to do is going to go into the home dressing room, and that is where Hull KR will prepare for the Betfred Grand Final. So this is the home dressing room. This is where Hull KR will be on Saturday night. Right then, what's it like to be in the dressing room before the Grand Final? I presume you have some players warming up, some players listening to music, some players shouting, some players keeping themselves to themselves. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. It's almost a psychologist's dream to be in somewhere like this, because everybody's preparing in their own individual, unique and different way. I mean, to be honest, it's usually quite calm, usually very, very quiet as well. I shared a room with a changing room with Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, so he was a very different and unique character in his own. But the majority of players are so focused on what's ahead of them, really, Mark.
Any advantage being in the home dressing room? Because it is bigger.
Yeah, it is bigger, but I don't think so. You've got to remember that you play the best teams are the ones who have the most success here. Don't play the occasion, Mark. They really don't. They just see this as a building where they're getting changed, and then they just see that as a pitch, really, right? You can get caught up in it, and players do get caught up in it. It does weird and wonderful things to many talented players out here. But I think the teams that just forget all the external and just focus on the here and now, they're the ones who get crowned champions at the end.
And very quickly, you've celebrated in here.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling to come there with a trophy, isn't it? Oh,
it is. And it's not necessarily the trophies, Mark, and anyone who's had success in any sport in the world will tell you the trophies are what you get given, the medals and the rings are what you get given, but it's the memories, and it's those memories that stay with you forever. It's those memories that when you bump into players later down the line in the future, those are the moments you talk about. So, maybe this changing room will be that for one special group. OKR, maybe.
Right, let's check out the tunnel and we'll go out on the pitch. So, at 6:10, this is a big moment. You're walking out. What are you thinking?
Oh, this is, again, just like I said earlier, Mark, this is the best part of it. You've got all, this side will be full of Wigan fans, the Stretford, and you are greeted with that noise. You start to enter up to the ramp, and it's gladiatorial almost. That's what it feels like. You just know that this is the moment you've worked for all year. For some of these players, it may be their first time of playing in a grand final, and then all those emotions hit you. I remember my first grand final in 2014 when I was walking down this ramp. In a weird way, it was negative thoughts that was going through my head. I felt like, why is this happening to me? Do I deserve to be here? But the reality is you are here, and you have to trust your gut and trust your teammates that you can get the job done. And again, you've got to very quickly try and blank out all of the noise and just focus on what's happening on the pitch. And
do you attempt to look for your family or anything like that?
Yeah, no, you do. I mean, you've got, usually the families are situated to the right-hand side here. You know, you wave to them, and then you know it's showtime. Then, Mark, it is.
And just a word on this wonderful surface.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And again, you know, I've said a couple of times to try and blank it all out, but it's hard. You know, it's hard because there's just so many people in here. The noise, you know, the atmosphere is electric. Of course, the pigeon detectives will be doing their part in G'ing the crowd up as well. And yeah, it's just brilliant. It's brilliant. But what you want to do as a player, you want to be able to get your first touch, your first carry, your first impact, and then it all goes away. But yeah, I'm very, very jealous of both sets of players here.
Right, we're not allowed to walk on the pitch, but come on, let's go to the dugouts. These are the famous dugouts here at Old Trafford. This is where the Hull KR subs, the rest of the squad, the support staff will all sit on Saturday night. The coach, Willie Peters, he'll be up there sending messages down. Right then, Carl, when you're out on the pitch, can you hear anything from the dugouts?
No, not when you're out on the pitch. Definitely not. You know, again, it's almost just laser sharp tunnel focus. You know, you've got to be, your head's just in the play all the time. It really is. And like I said earlier, once the ball's kicked off and you've got those early involvements in, it's like the external stuff just becomes a blur. You know what I mean? But what you do feed off is the emotion of the crowd. You know, when you're on top and I imagine that at some stage Wigan or Hull KR will pin a team into the corner and their fans will grow and try and encourage them just to really restrict meters, and that is what you feed off. But yeah, I mean, it's brilliant, and it's just great to be back, and I cannot wait for this grand final, Mark. I really can't. A rematch, it's all perfect, isn't it?
Where's the game going to be, won or lost?
Well, I think, you know, for me, well, first of all, yeah, to answer your first question, where the game will be won and lost, it'll be moments. It'll be, you know, you've got two of the very best in Jay Field and Bevan French. You've got Mikey Lewis on Hull KR. Jez Litton, I think he can come up with a moment in a game. But I think it'll come down to moments. What I hope for the grand final, though, I hope we have a high-scoring grand final. I think we've not. No, I mean, Wigan haven't conceded a try here in the last 2 years. You know, that just shows you where their mindset is come this game. Willie Peters spoke about Hull KR sort of going into their own shell inside the final 20 last season. He's promised that won't happen again. So with that in mind, I really hope for a grand final. You know, you think back to the 2015 grand final, Josh Walters pinching the try to take it off Wigan, 22-20. That's the kind of game that I really hope.
Come on, who wins it then?
I think Wigan Warriors win it. I do. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just know that the level that they can go to, you know, but I think it would be great to see Hull KR, and I'm not sitting on the fence here by any stretch. I think it'd be great for the game for Hull KR to win, of course, and put a new trophy and be the 5th club only to win the treble. But I just think Wigan, they've got the best player in the competition in Bevan French for me, and whenever he's out there, Mark, in a tight game, him and Field, you know, talk about moments, those two live in them moments.
I think Bevan French is a great bet for the Rob Burrow Man of the Match award. Right, 6 o'clock Saturday night, it's the big dance here at Old Trafford.